Please, sir. See, this is how you know you treat people right? They come into your household and serve you. This is how you need to treat your friends.
Some people say this is bad being a bad hostess, but
how? This nigga know where everything is in the household.
And he only been here for 2 days.
He's been in our house before, first of all.
Can you turn the...
He's also not an idiot.
And let's just take away all those background noise. Yeah.
So we about to be hot as fuck. We already black. I was thinking about doing a whole matching outfit with a hat, but I really don't. I'm in my own house, and we fuck around and not even use this footage. So, yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about this. I would like to get where Yogi's mind frame was while we was doing. Yeah, and we was just listening to the beats, and you told me you gotta listen to this beat.
I'll go to beat.
You gotta fucking.
I feel like I might have let you hear it long before then.
Nah, that was the first time I ever heard it. I think.
And it was acknowledged.
Yes, it was a good beat. It was actually better than a good beat. And then we came up with that. Like I freestyled it. I freestyled the quarantine. I get my mask on, brash delivery, watch a nigga get his dash on, right? And then you know what I mean. Freestyle maybe 2 more lines. I actually have that recorded, but 2 more lines, and then you freestyle, and then we was like, damn, this is actually hot, right? So I asked you to send me that beat. I was like, make sure you send me that fucking beat, and then I just started writing to it. Right? And then I sent you what I had. You was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, this nigga's serious. This nigga's serious.
Okay. Back.
And then, I don't know, when we made it back to Nashville, when we was at that construction class, you ended up playing that song by Psy Baby.
Yeah.
The
Ready
to Eat. Yes, I was like, this beat is fucking
hard.
Insane, bro.
It was fucking hard.
So, yeah, then I started recording that. I mean, I started like writing to that, and I was like, huh, this actually sounds pretty decent. So let's see what, if Yogi wants to hop on it. And then I played you my little part, and then you ended up like doing whatever you do, right? Because you freestyle a lot, right? I feel like you have a lot of freestyle verses in your head.
Stuck in my head.
And then you're like, this is the beat for it now. Yeah. Okay, I've been holding on to it for a while.
That's a good way of putting it.
Right? I like to write about what moment I'm in mentally, right? And you have a bunch of moments mentally that you store.
That not only stored, I'm currently still living in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's why they still apply.
Okay.
So if I find the right sound, the right beat to like let it out on, okay, because it's like the moment is still there, still living in it. When you find the right sound to just like put it on there, you got it.
Hell yeah. I think our energies was like matching, because for you to play those songs for me, and I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta get
that
on
shit
these
worked out
words.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
Yeah.
When you came up with the name for it too, you remember? Like we came up with the name for the one song, Duality, right? Because it was like on opposite ends of a relationship type thing. Well, just the way I was talking versus how you was talking. But just the overall track, the overall mixtape name, I remember. He was like, let's just call it Trauma. I mean, we taking all that shit that sucks about what happened in our past and turning it into music. And,
real shit.
I thought that was a really fire ass name. And then me and Kimmy took the photos and I sent them to you. And you was like, okay, this is.
I seen even the drafts was hard. Yeah. I don't see how y'all like found like the perfect one. Like, what was the judgment process? Okay, this is the one. Because all the ones I saw, them bitches was nice. It was fucking nice.
I think the one that we chose kind of like encapsulated everything we wanted to display on the cover, right? Because in the background you can see money on one side with candy, then on the other side you can see fruit. If you ever like actually looked at it, I know just like us two together, that shit is cold by itself. But if you look on the sides of us, the one side where I'm reaching for the alcohol is like the candy and money side in the back of me, and then the other side is like she's handing me the book, and behind me is fruit and like juice or whatever. So I was just like, damn, this has everything that's needed in this photo. So this is the one, And we like propped the camera up my phone on like a suitcase or something. It was like hanging on by a thread.
That shit still worked though. It still worked.
And then everything that we put into it was like purposeful because we kept adding to it. And I think that's what it was. And then at the end, like the mask that we used was a parental advisory, like Black Lives Matter kind of mask. So there's just a lot of like hidden Easter eggs in that picture if you really pay attention to it.
That's a good word for it. Yeah, I mean,
achievement unlocked. It's crazy to me because I discovered the beat for Duality like just Flying Lotus like 2009, and this shit just carried on into 2020, 2021, and then you ended up rapping on it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because that's when it's in my top 10 favorite songs, and it's just an instrumental. It ain't no words to it, nothing. I've been listening to it for years. Ended up sharing it with you. You ended up using it. You know, it's just interesting how shit like that works.
I feel like you knew I was ready to hear it. Because if that's one of your... I take my mask off to catch this one.
I should have brought us some more.
Okay. What's culture without underground economy? The system begs for free while promising the firmament. So I'll be having to look up a lot of shit. And I've heard firmament before, but I've never understood what it meant. Mm-hmm. So it's just like firmament of heaven. Yeah. Right? And I was just like, I thought it always meant like hell for some reason. So like I looked up, I was like, okay, this will work. You know, the system begs for sin but promises the firmament. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that. When I came up with that, I was like, okay, so I'm actually okay at this. You know, the Georgia Breonna terribly, they stay getting asked on. You know, as a black man, you can't deny what's happening to black folks. Hell no. Right? But you can't let it consume you. Right. You know, so
end up in tears in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, so I mean that was my way of acknowledging it, and sometimes I feel as though maybe I could contribute more to the black movement, but I think just by being a positive role model, that's contributing. No, right? Like not shitting on who I am and what I am. You know what I mean? Like actually doing something with my time on Earth is my contribution. You know? Yeah. Hell is it all for, what the fuck are our lives worth? Remember since I damn birth, why I barely feel at home living on the same earth. Nike's cut that out right there. He actually cold. He actually cold. Really wishing I was gone. I can feel it in my bones. Right there, I was about to go on some, and I'm sad piece of shit, and I hate my fucking life. You know what I mean? I swear to God, bro.
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, and she was too. Like, she was surprised that, you know what I mean? She was like, so you do like being on Earth. You know what I mean? You do like being here. And I told her it was because of, I mean, you're helping. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I remember a few drafts that he brought to me, I would just be like, no. He would be like, well, give me some advice. Like, what do you think? And I'm just like, I can't tell you what it is, and I can't be like, oh, write this down, but it's a no. Like, and I remember when he brought me the final one, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a yes.
Because like you was just saying, it's like that. I feel like that's the best way for you to contribute. You know, with your time here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Spread more positivity. Is like not like we was talking about people being enablers earlier. You know what I'm saying? That would be you enabling like the negativity you experiencing. Like when you could use what you've been using to get out of it and put it on music and help other people get out of it. You know? Yeah. Because it's like, yeah, you could be saying, oh, I'm a sad piece of shit type shit. It's a lot of other people already feel like that. Mm-hmm. That's enabler energy. Mm-hmm. And me as an enabler, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I could see it. So I feel like you did the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, it took a lot for me to do that too, which is weird to say because I'm so used to just being sad because I know what to do with it.
And then self-depreciating.
I know what to do with that feeling. I know because not doing anything while you're sad is like the best feeling. Because you're like, oh, well, I'm not fucking up anything, but you're also not accomplishing it.
Exactly.
You know, so.
You either a part of the problem or you a part of the solution.
Yes, sir.
And it's like, it's no gray area with that shit. Mm-hmm. It's no gray area. You either a part of the problem or you a part of the solution. Mm-hmm. When you changed up and put what you put on it, you made yourself part of a solution.
Damn. Yeah.
Cut.
Beer shit. He said beer.
I don't drink.
She don't drink Sprite. Because that's all this shit is.
Magic Sprite. This is McDonald's Sprite for real. On the real.
Alright, yeah, so we'll play the chorus and then we'll pause it again because I want to talk about that.
So let's get back into it.
Trump sends another stimulus and my girl doesn't get a period. It's kind of cool that I feel delirious. Mental state feeling hella vitreous. When it breaks, bet you take me serious. Heated like two floating Venuses. When control is taken with imperious, means something's brewing dark shadow and insidious.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I do want you to explain that hook.
Yes, sir.
Because it's a lot of little things that I know it's like things that you understand and you putting them in. It's almost like you speaking in code. You know what you're talking about and you know what you're relating it to. I heard a couple double entendres in there, but it's like you know what's going on. It's an inside thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
go ahead and break this shit down.
Yes,
man.
sir. So, praying Trump sends another stimulus and my girl doesn't get a period. Hopefully, I can get my girl pregnant. We can end up with more than just one stimulus check. I can get multiple. But like that's an accidental bar for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I really wanted, you know what I mean? I was hoping to get her pregnant. Honestly, I mean, I want her to be in my life forever. Mm-hmm. It was just the way I was feeling at the time. So that's how I ease into it, right? And then I think as I write, I'm like, okay, this is how I bring people in, and then I hit them then you know what I mean? I bring them in, I like act like I'm not gonna throw nothing, and then I bam. It's comical that I feel delirious, mental state feeling hella vitreous. Okay, so Delirious is a comedy special by Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
So it's hilarious to me that I'm feeling like confused. You know what I mean? I think, wow, I'm 27 years old. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's comical that I feel delirious. Mental state feeling hella vitreous. Vitreous meaning like breakable.
Yeah. And
then so that's why I'm just like, wow, this is hilarious. I have to laugh at my pain, otherwise I'm sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, this is actually funny that I feel like shit. It's crazy.
Find a way to laugh at it.
Yes, sir.
Laugh through the pain.
When it breaks, bet you take me serious. Which is when it breaks, because vitreous, When it breaks, bet you take me serious. Heated like two imploding Venuses. Like I'm like, shit. How am I control the way I'm feeling? Oh shit. If I explode, if I don't control it, then you know how hot Venus is already. Mm-hmm. Imagine two of those imploding. An implosion is
way
more
harder
destructive
than
an explosion. Yes, sir. And then two Venuses. Dang, what's the last part? That shit is. I did everything I could to fit every syllable, man. That shit was. I actually I did research too. Like vitreous, I never knew that word. I never used that word ever. Mm-hmm. But I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, this means what I wanted to mean. Yeah. But that's kind of how I construct things too, because I'll use a word that I don't normally use, and then from there I'll be like, oh shit, okay, let me see how I can make all of this fit. It's like fun for me. Because sometimes I'll write like...
That's hard.
I'll write some shit and put it at the bottom of the page. And then like, okay, I'm going to get to this point somehow and it's all going to make sense. Yeah. And it's fun as hell, bro. Like, I be having a blast with that. Okay. Imploding like two Venuses. When control is taken with Imperious means something's brewing dark, shadow, and insidious. Okay, so when control is taken with Imperious meaning evil. So I ended up using the wrong definition for Imperious here. Just think of someone like Emperor Palpatine or Hitler. Alright, so when control is taken with Imperious means fits the end of that bar. When control is taken with Imperious means, you know what I mean? Because your means of going about something is evil, and then it fits into the other one. So when control is taken with Imperious means something's brewing dark, shadow, and insidious. You've seen the movie Insidious, right? Yeah. So that's really it. It's just like me speaking on
shit get dark.
Yeah, and how that's contributing to my shitty state. So what's crazy is that if you read that chorus backwards, it actually makes more sense, right? Because I'm talking about how dark and shitty everything is, and then how that's making me like heated, and then how it's funny that it's making me heated, and how I just want to make babies and
just live life.
But also
make babies and live.
Also, something we talked about was like people who have kids who feel as though their kids are gonna save them. And how we don't want that for our kids. I feel like that also tied into it.
Hell yeah.
Because I remember us, like, when we go to Nashville all the time, that's usually when we listen back to his music and he'll break it down for me, we're like really deeply discussed it. And I remember that being one of the points was that, like, again, people have kids to save themselves or to bring them happiness, and that's like not the reason why you bring a kid into this life.
Excuse me, yep.
You bring a kid into the world when it's nothing but a relationship full of love, and you want to materialize that intangible love. It's like you don't bring a kid in the world looking for a savior. It's a fucking child. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, make perfect sense.
People do it backwards, and then they blame the child. You know what I mean?
Every time.
Yeah, that shit is kind of terrifying for the kid, man.
And you just end up repeating the cycle and making more baby fuck ups.
Hell yeah.
And it's not even their fault. It's your fault because look what you just subjected into.
what chance does a fucking kid have, dude?
It's a child. It's gonna learn from the experiences that you present to it mostly, and the ones that they already destined to that the world gonna give them. And if it's like the ones that you giving them aren't like good or positive, it's like what do they have to learn, grow, and feed off of? Hell yeah, I get that.
That's fun.
A virus, new shit gon' find us. What's an asshole porcelain? What's dark to lightning? Always the cause, ain't no ways around it. We're a disease on this planet.
Can you push pause? So what's an asshole to porcelain? Taking a shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure, like, I'm not stupid.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm saying, like, what's an asshole to porcelain? Like, you need the porcelain don't need you.
Okay.
Like, it's just some random shit I came up with in my head. What's an asshole to porcelain? Like, imagine a regular toilet is a sentient being. It's like, it's looking up at your asshole and it's like, you need me, bitch. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where I was going with that.
When I heard that, I honestly thought it was like, people put so much value into porcelain dolls, porcelain plates, porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's
shit.
like that's the same thing we use to shit on. That's what I thought you were going with. Like,
that's
a
good point of view. I like that. I fucking like that.
Like, we put so much value into something, and it's like, it's literally nothing.
It's literally shit.
Yeah, literally
shit. Hey, that's cool. And then dark to lightning is just.
And it's crazy. That's crazy because last night it was a while. Y'all was in there snoring y'all ass off, but I'm over here awake playing video games. It's pitch black, but every time that lightning struck, it looked like it was daylight outside.
Wow.
What is dark to lightning? Absolutely nothing. Because every time that bitch come through, it's like, here, sunlight. You know what I'm saying? It was dark as shit, and it was pouring down rain, but you could see everything like the sun was shining every time it struck, and it was striking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's an asshole to porcelain? What's dark to lightning? It's like.
And then we're a disease on this planet, maintain survival. That's pretty like just surface, right? That's really you said what you said there.
Yeah, because think about it. Like, we a disease on this planet.
Like
at the state that we are in now, like it was a point in time where humans existed on Earth, and like it was like we were kind of one with it.
Yeah, we were like grooming.
We live on a rock in the middle of space, floating around somewhere in the universe, and we have found a way to fuck it up and pay bills. We go to work and pay bills on a planet that gave us everything we need.
Well, not only that, like in 4 months into the coronavirus, and people were just staying at home, like rainforests and rivers, and it was healing itself.
The earth is healing itself while we stuck inside the house.
No, but that's what the earth did,
also,
probably. It was like, I got to poison
the conversation we talked about yesterday with, we weren't meant to live this long. It was at one point survival of the fittest. So, before dentist, people were dying at 30 because if they have a cavity, it infects their brain. Yep. Whatever tooth infection they have goes to their brain, they're dead.
Yep.
So we weren't meant to live as long as we are.
The people who don't take care of themselves, because even ancient tribes in Africa, they even have dental procedures. It's a certain root that they chew on, and like they'll pick their teeth and they'll chew on that root, and it's good for their gums and their teeth. But the people who like, oh no, I'm not gonna chew on that root. Those the ones that end up
niggas who ain't listening.
People who don't listen. But now we have this whole healthcare system. Oh, and
so you can fuck off for years.
They put it under the pretense of, oh, I'm saving lives. Some lives just maybe conceptually shouldn't be saved. Yeah. It's a fucked up point of view. It really is. Considering the world we live in today, it is.
I don't think it is.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's hard to have this conversation, but I don't think it's a fucked up point of view, because what do we do to diseases when they infect our body? You know, we get rid of them.
Yep.
And what are we doing, like you said, to Earth? We're a disease on this planet.
And so we just maintaining survival at this point, because the Earth is gonna she trying to fix herself.
She is.
Always distracted, we all be lacking. I'ma blame ADHD and pop this addy. Tell you about this white bitch I'm in.
Now, I ain't even gonna lie to you, like that part right there, it's like it came out of nowhere, really. Like face mask or plastic, control the masses. I was sitting there thinking about how like a lot of government ordinances are used simply for control. And for a long time, that's always been my whole perspective on the whole coronavirus thing. It's like, it was almost like, it seemed like it was a test. Because a lot of the research that they have is baseless. You can't look half of the shit up about coronavirus. Coronavirus is a real thing, and corona in general has been around for a long time. You have to do your own research and whatnot. The research I did was just like in passing, just digging around. But like for the most part, the system that we have in place, it thrives off of control. And I feel like the whole introduction of the coronavirus thing was like, let's see how much control we still have. Because I feel like in the around the whole 2020 and coming into 2021, I feel like people will experience some type of awakening. I feel like we all started waking up to a degree. Like, just think about the conversations that were being had. They got more political.
You got to talk that shit at work too. You remember you couldn't even do that.
We worked at a job where they told us don't talk about certain shit, and I'm like, wow, we co-workers, but we can't talk about certain shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people, especially the younger generation, they were getting to this point where like they would have these discussions that we were told not to have. You know what I'm saying? So it was like face mask of plastic, control the masses. It's like they trying to like this whole thing to me personally is just a test for them to figure out, engage, and how much control do we really still have over these people that we subjugate, you know? So it's like, I don't know.
Wait, I also feel like there was one verse where you said that, you know, about the Netflix and how we're so tuned in.
Entertainment is one of the strongest tools. Think about how often you will be at work or in some random conversation at a bar and you'll hear people, it's like the only thing that's in discussion is like, oh, have you seen this show on? Oh, did you? And it's always something related to social media or entertainment. Sitting on your ass, doing nothing, not contributing.
Don't forget to kill off who look the blackest. Fuck them if they broken quarter gas. Match it even better.
Don't forget to kill off who look the blackest. I was doing some research like into the United Nations and whatnot, and it's almost like every single country in the world has an agreement that, hey, we gonna all fuck over Africa and get what we can get out of it. Fuck them folks. That's crazy.
They do throw them a lot of money though. Like,
no, it's a lot of
America throws them a lot of
political
money.
Schemery going on.
I feel what you're saying, yeah, and it's a lot of hiding the money too, right? Like you can act like it's foreign aid, but then flip that shit.
Exactly, that's what's going on. Like you could just do a little research into the United Nations, the dealings with every country have with Africa. Because think about it, Africa, one of the most natural resource rich
because it's the center of our planet. If you think about it, I mean that's what Pangea was,
and it's like. All of this disarray that's continuing going on. We still talking about feed the babies. They got the flies flying around their eyes and shit. All this money people donating. How come the babies ain't fed yet?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just do some research. You'll find some interesting shit about how other countries deal with Africa as a whole. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this is just a bank. We gonna all continue to rob it for as long as we can because it's great.
And then when they attack. They get called terrorists. When they blow some shit up,
right.
like, we sick of y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, then they
shit crazy.
They Netflix and chill, middle of hell and disaster. Always distracted, we all be lacking. I'ma blame ADHD and pop this addy. Tell you about this white bitch I met while swiping.
That whole little sequence, like how I went from talking about like shit to like absolutely nothing. Tell you about this white bitch I met while swiping. Like we all got our little vices. I'll get bored and I'll end up on Tinder. You know what I'm saying? And it's like all the shit that I should be focusing on and thinking about, it's like, let me go see if I can get my dick wet or something. I'm bored. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then it's like, think about it. When you get so consumed with your vices, it'll distract you from your purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Not even just vices, just bullshit in general. And it kind of relate to that line where it's like, they Netflix and chill, middle of hell and disaster. Like the world that we live in is in complete disarray. We all should be working together to fix it, but instead we sitting here talking about shows, movies. Like I can't even lie to you. I'm sitting here waiting on March 31st so I could watch Godzilla vs. Kong. And there's contacts in my phone that I could be talking about and educating about more and real important shit. But that's all we be talking about in our little group chat. Godzilla vs. Kong, literally. This shit is crazy. And then it's like that line where I was like, pussy in my mouth till I make a climax. Can't talk with my mouth full, so I keep silent. Our mouth is our greatest tool. Our mouth is our strongest tool. That's how information spreads. It's pussy in my mouth.
You know what's crazy?
I can't educate you.
That was such a beautiful way to end that verse, because you started off like educating, and then you're like, okay, this is what I am doing versus what I should be doing, and then you're like, to cap it off, like I thought that was just a beautiful summary.
See, when I listened to it, I took it as like you said, you popped the ADH pill.
Pop the.
Oh, so he switched.
But not only that, when you're not on medication, when you're not medded up, you have all these ideas. But when they give you this medicine that they tell you, hey, this is what it's supposed to do, you're back into the boundaries that they set for you.
Yeah.
And when you're not on it, you're outside of the boundaries. And like, don't get me wrong, not to say that I advocate for not taking your pills, because obviously, if it helps you, it helps you. But it's just this whole thing, especially with you guys being, black men, and how they used to treat us and fit us. And that's why, especially with this COVID vaccine, we're afraid to get it because we don't know what the fuck they put in.
And the history of the U.S. with vaccines.
Yeah,
and black
or
people.
everything. So that's what I just took it as, is like, you had all these ideas, you were like, yo, here are my facts, and then you got made up, and you were like, let me talk to you about what I want to talk to you about. Let me talk to you about what they want me to talk to you about.
Real shit, that's fine. You know what's really interesting is, like, as an artist, right, you're just like, this is what's in my brain, I'm about to write this.
Yeah.
And like, you probably weren't even thinking of that concept, but like someone who's can actually listen to it, like a person that needs to listen to it, I think. You know what I mean? People who like, oh my God, he's the greatest artist ever. Like people who are in love with Kid Cudi or whatever.
Yeah.
They like, oh my God, without his music, I wouldn't be alive, type shit. It's just that they can actually decipher what he's saying, other than like just what he believes he needs to say, right? It's like, damn, this pertains to my life and the understanding of how shitty shit is or whatever the fuck. But that's crazy that you can take us just rapping and be like, okay, look, this rhymes and it makes sense. And be like, this is what this nigga meant. You should be, I don't know, that's really tight, baby.
That's hard.
That's tight as hell. Because
that's kind of what I was feeling, but it was like, I didn't say it exactly like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's cool to me. That's real cool. I'm a blame ADHD and pop this addy.
There you go, man. How about?
Like, whether I got ADHD or not, I'm finna pop this addy and just blame ADHD for all of my issues, you know?
And then this is just us freestyling at the end. It was really just bullshit.
I'm trying to remember.
We was in there
fake.
It was really just bullshit.
That pussy might have gave me a virus. Trying to stay holy, nigga, trying to be pious. Will you be pious? Fuck around, get in the streets, start a riot.
Yeah, we give it for free. I'm with the violence. Don't play with me, baby, cause I'm with the violence. Yeah, we coming spraying. You niggas getting mad cause y'all know what we saying. And I do things, fuck around, take a drink, bitch, I know things. He took it off my shirt. What you niggas really worth? My daddy was a stolen.